Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Grassroots Vegan. I'm David Kelly. And, I don't have any specific topic that I want to talk about in this video. It's a Friday evening. I'm alone here tonight in my apartment. I just finished doing some vacuum cleaning that I have been putting off for quite a while now, I like living in a clean place, but I gotta say, I've never, it's not my favorite pastime, let's just put it that way. But yeah, well, it's been a rocky couple of weeks in the stock market. As those of you who have been following my videos know, that I invest, and I'm totally invested, in fact. And I'm pretty sure there was some pretty stressed out investors out there, and what can I say? I'm very happy to be a vegan, and I make sure that I eat healthy and take care of myself and stay physically active, because when you go through stressful times like this, it's really important to be taking in the right kind of fuel. And what I mean by that is eating a high carbohydrate diet. You need to feed your cells with sugar. And that's basically it. And that's going to keep your brain from going berserk. And I have to say, I kept it together pretty well. And believe me, there were days when I was losing thousands upon thousands of dollars. And now I've recouped those losses and gained some. But in those moments, and this may not be over yet, I'm not convinced this is completely done with. But yeah, I could not see myself in the face of that kind of uncertainty if I were eating the way I was before I became a vegan. And the fact that, before I became a vegan, I was also drinking alcohol too. It's not like a magic solution to dealing with stress. You still have to mentally be disciplined. And that's kind of a separate exercise besides diet. But keeping really well carved up on a variety of fruits and vegetables and starchy foods like rice and potatoes and beans and lentils and whatever else that's high in starch, plant-based, really makes a difference. And I think back to periods in my life where, as a vegan, where I experienced high levels of stress and how I was able to manage it pretty well. I think back when I was going through my separation with my ex, and I remember there were, in the early part of it, it was really intense, emotionally intense, mentally challenging. And I did something really bizarre. I decided that, I'm going to fast to kind of just clear out the noise of everything that's going on and get to a pure state so I can really operate on a genuine level and deal with what's coming at me. Well, let me tell you something. I started this water fast in the morning time. By the evening, I broke down. I fell apart. I lost it. It was like, and I realized this is nuts. When you're experiencing high levels of stress in your life, the last thing you want to do is deprive yourself of the necessary fuel to get you through that stress. And that's what I was doing. And of course, I just fell apart. So after that, I made sure that I ate enough of fruits, vegetables, and starchy foods. And I was able to manage myself and navigate myself through a very difficult time. And the last couple of weeks was another stressful period in my life. And but that's you play the markets. You have to be prepared for that. And the fact is, I totally anticipated prior to this that there was going to be a major correction coming up. And I thought it was going to come earlier, actually. I was expecting it initially to come in May, never happened. Then I, pushed it forward to August, thinking, well, August would be the time. But really it happened, I would have to say it started happening September 22nd. And it's funny, that was Monday, and the prior Friday was the release of Alibaba, became a publicly traded company, and I bought into Alibaba, and I got caught up into the enthusiasm that was surrounding that release, and yes, Alibaba did go down afterwards. It has come back again, but you know what? I've just kind of put that away for now. I'm going to let this company prove itself, and that's exactly what's going to happen. What's going to have to happen. There's no gifts here for that company. Sometimes a company like that goes public and people go crazy about it, and just the hype will, send the price into the stratosphere. And I was kind of hoping for that. There was a possibility of that, and that's what I was betting on, but it didn't happen, and it's not going to happen. So, in times of volatility and uncertainty, there's many different ways you can manage your stress, but you really do have to eat properly. And what is eating properly? It's a low-fat, vegan diet. What else? So yeah, I guess I've been doing the McDougall diet for about a month now. And again, for those of you who have been following my videos and know my background, prior to doing the McDougall diet, I've been doing mostly raw till 4, and all that stuff. And I just came to a decision that those dietary regimens, although many people benefit from it, I'm not knocking it. And I would encourage you, if you want to explore those areas, please do. It's worth it. And I'm glad that I had those experiences. And I've taken a lot of valuable information from fruitarianism, even from the high-fat raw movement. There's things about it that I still use today, certain foods. I like eating sprouts, for example. So, and raw till 4, I even still sometimes do that. There are days when I just feel like eating fruit, and I'll just eat fruit. So I guess, what's important here is to have flexibility, and that's what I practice. And, where I keep things pretty much in line is with low fat. And for me, it's usually within the 10% range, 10% of my total calories or less. It might be less than that. That, and that's not a solid rule for everybody, because I know people who have problems gaining weight, and it's a real curse for them. They can eat and eat and eat, and they just can't gain weight. And for them, they have to take a different approach, and it is, increasing the fat level and the protein level to safe levels, not going crazy, like I wouldn't go beyond 20% of your calories coming from fat. And, you can increase your protein levels. But this is a rare condition. I think there's only 2% of the population suffer from this, and there's not a lot of research done in this area. I actually looked it up, and it's actually just kind of a vague area. Nobody really fully understands why these people are having problems gaining weight. There's theories like an overactive thyroid, and there's other theories about this, but the people who are experiencing that problem, it is a real curse. And instead of doing a lot of cardiovascular exercises like running long distances, they're more suited for doing resistance exercises like weight training, building muscle. That's really important for people who have this condition. So yeah, what is the right ratio between fat, protein, and carbohydrates? I think even that is negotiable. It doesn't have to be 95 or 80-10-10. Again, age, gender, all that comes into play. And for myself, as a 54-year-old male who will be 55 coming this November, keeping the fat as low as possible works well for me. And yeah, so the McDougall diet, I definitely encourage that approach to low-fat veganism. And I strongly recommend reading Dr. John McDougall's book, The Starch Solution. I read it. It wasn't, for me, it wasn't like new information. It was more of a reaffirmation of what I had already read before somewhere else. But nevertheless, if you're coming to this lifestyle, that's a great book to start with and get yourself going on the vegan lifestyle in the right direction. Is there anything else that I'd like to talk about? Oh, yeah, dinners, preparing dinners. And I've been a vegan for over 7 years now, and I've prepared some pretty amazing dinners for non-vegans. And I don't do it anymore because I'm in this apartment. My kitchen is puny, and I'm just not motivated to really doing elaborate dishes. But when I was living back at the house, I put on some really fine meals. I even hosted a vegan Thanksgiving for mostly non-vegans. Can you believe that? And what I did was, well, first of all, what I like to do when I have a decent kitchen to work in, and I've got all the ingredients there and the cooking utensils, everything I need, I like to not just make really tasty dinners, but display them in an artistic manner. So the presentation is inviting, and I've always got rave reviews from these dinners that I've hosted. Now, the Thanksgiving dinner, what I did there's a vegan restaurant in Toronto here, and I forget the name of it, run by an Asian family, but they are masters at creating vegan meats, fave meats. And this Thanksgiving, they were advertising vegan turkey. And this is not a tofurkey. This was something completely different. And so I ordered one ahead of time. And basically what it looked like was white meat turkey, and I cut in slices. And so and it had a gravy to go with it, a vegan gravy. I presented that. And nobody knew the better. It was just like, okay, I was serving turkey without the carcass, right? And I was amazed. Nobody questioned it. Nobody said boo about it. So that's really cool. So you shouldn't be afraid to do vegan dinners for your non-vegan guest. You just be creative and do a fantastic presentation. And, there's such variety to choose from within the vegan limits. Like you're just eliminating meat and dairy and eggs and any kind of animal products, but you still have a wide range of foods to work with, and of different spices and different flavors to work with. And some of the creations you can come up are just amazing. A good thing to do is to check out vegan cuisine and look what some professional chefs are doing and get inspiration from there. Yeah, kind of miss doing that, but again, I just don't have, I know I'm making excuses here, but it really is a tiny kitchen. It's not, I wouldn't even call it a kitchen, but I do some dishes. I post them on Instagram that are interesting, but it's really just small scale stuff for my own personal pleasure. What else? I just enjoy being a vegan. I have to say, it's been over 7 years, and coming from being a guy that loved to barbecue and eat lots of meat and would buy meat in bulk, I would buy it and butcher it myself, and loved my cheese and loved eggs and anything animal I loved, and I loved to eat hearty, and I don't miss it. It's just not a part of me anymore. And the benefits the health benefits that I'm enjoying as being a vegan, there's no comparison. There's no trade-off here. And then the fact that by the way I am eating, I'm actually contributing to a better environment. And I'm contributing to, I'm not participating, I should say, in animal cruelty. And so it's a win-win situation. And I was never the type of person that would go around hugging a tree and go out and be an activist for the environment or for animal rights or anything like that. But just by my actions, I am an activist. And that's kind of cool, You want to be a true environmentalist? I don't think you can be a true environmentalist unless you're a vegan, because the environmental impact that the meat industry has, the raising of livestock, is profound. And it's like in terms of greenhouse gas emissions, it's worse than all of the transportation of the world put together. So, if you want to be a real environmentalist, you got to go vegan. That's the only way. Anyhow, I think that's it for tonight. Have a nice evening and stay carved up. Take care.